Good morning everyone, I'm Richard Parr and you are watching Sportuccino only just because I missed my alarm clock, but thank goodness I am here to talk all things sport with you this morning on Facebook, YouTube and on Periscope. So great to have you joining us. If you've got anything you want to discuss about the worlds of sport, health and nutrition, let us know. Luckily I was at the football last night so I can talk about that. Albeit I won't be very happy because Newcastle were 2-1 winners over Brighton and Hove Albion. I've also got a fantastic guest coming up in just a moment, but let's have a look at this morning's sports headlines. So Juventus beat Napoli 3-1 in the first leg of their Coppa Italia semi-final. Newcastle United are top of the championship after a 2-1 win over Brighton. Andy Murray won on his return after 6 weeks out of injury in Dubai. And on the second day of F1 testing, Ferrari were faster than Mercedes. I also want to tell you about 99 Designs this morning. 99 Designs helped design our amazing Sportuccino logo. I'm really proud of it, and you could have a logo just as great as well by checking out their service. They also do website design, business cards, in fact any kind of creative design. And what they do is they offer it to talented freelancers around the world who all compete to try and design something amazing for you. If you don't like what they produce for you, then you can get your money back. Go and check them out. There's a link to them on the resources page on Sportuccino. We'll also try and put a link to it on the podcast page and on Facebook and on YouTube. Now, so I was at the Amex last night. Brighton and Hove Albion 1, Newcastle United 2. Brighton in the first half were absolutely sensational. Jamie Murphy in particular, absolutely ripping around Yedlin, the Newcastle right back, causing lots of problems. Eventually Brighton did get a penalty and Glenn Murray scored from the spot after 13 minutes to put Brighton 1-0 up. And Newcastle, they had a few chances in the first half towards the end. A great save late on by David Stockdale meant it was Brighton 1-0 up at half-time. The second half Brighton weren't as dominant, but Newcastle were slowly getting into the game. And in the 81st minute, just as you thought Brighton, all they needed to do was see the last 9 minutes out, Newcastle got a very, very fluky goal. After David Stockdale had a pretty weak punched clearance, Atsu shot the ball wide, it bounced off Diami and looped over the keeper and the substitute fullback Tomori to make it 1-1. And then after that, a beautiful crossfield ball over to Atsu, and he laid the ball up to Perez to make it 2-1 to Rafael Benitez's Newcastle United. Did you watch that game? What did you make of it? Let us know on Facebook. Let us know on YouTube. We would love to get your thoughts on that. Who is going to win the championship? So it is Newcastle United now, top of the table on, what is it? I think they're 2 points clear of Brighton. So I think they are on 73 points. Brighton are on 71 points. Huddersfield are on 66. Of course, Huddersfield play later tonight against Manchester City in that FA Cup replay. Let us know your predictions for that game. But Huddersfield do have a game in hand. So if they win that game in hand, they will be 3 points behind Brighton. Are we looking at a 3-horse race or are we looking at a 2-horse race? Let us know on the Facebook page. Let us know on Twitter at Sportuccino, where we also continue our conversation with various polls and lots of debate there. So it'd be great to hear your thoughts on all of that on Sportuccino this morning. Now, we do talk more than just sports and football results and everything like that. We like to look at how we can improve ourselves as people, how we can improve our health and our everyday life. And one of the things I should really do is buy an alarm clock so my phone doesn't let me down in the morning. But we also have to think about exactly what we're putting into our body. We can't be eating McDonald's the whole time. We can't be eating KFC. But it's about putting things that are green into your body and keeping a healthy lifestyle. So I'm delighted to say that joining me now on the program on Sportuccino from thelittleplantation.co.uk is Kimberly Espinel, joins me live on the program. Good morning, Kimberly.
Good morning.
Great to have you on. I know you're a very busy person with your son and everything you've got going on, so I'm really glad you've made the time for us this morning.
My pleasure.
So tell us about thelittleplantation.co.uk.
So The Little Plantation is really a plant-based food blog. So I blog about plant-based foods, vegan foods, I suppose, but the emphasis really is on whole foods, because vegan food can be unhealthy as well, but it's really focused on whole foods, vegetables, fruits, that kind of thing.
So is this something you've always done throughout your whole life?
So I've been a vegetarian really since I was 10 years old. I kind of decided one day I didn't want to eat meat anymore. And, but I was actually a really unhealthy vegetarian. So I ate lots of pasta and pizza and lots of cheese, lots of sweets. And then kind of after I had my son, actually, I had some kind of health niggles. And I was like, let me investigate that. So I did lots of research and kind of looked into the link of, how does eating dairy affect your body, et cetera, et cetera. And so I cut that out and also shifted more towards whole foods. And that really changed my life. So that's when I started the blog.
Yeah, no, that is very interesting. What was the most alarming thing you found when you were doing all of this research?
So, I'd always thought that if you eat lots of dairy, it's super good for your teeth, it's super good for your bones. And what I didn't actually know is that when you eat cheese in particular or milk, that actually it changes kind of the chemical composition in your body. So it creates like a sort of acidic environment. Meats can do that as well. And also that cheese has particular hormones in it. So as a woman, it's something you need to be really careful of. And because of my kind of genetic background and things like certain cancers being quite prevalent, I felt that for me that wasn't the right way forward. So I've moved to kind of more plant-based milks, so almond milk, usually homemade, or seed milks, and those just work better for me.
Oh, fantastic. So right now, what is your favorite recipe that you're talking about on the blog?
Oh, well, you know what? It varies. Usually it's the last one that I've done. I think that's the best one. But one of the most popular ones actually is my Colombian black bean stew. I love that one very much. I also have a 15-minute chickpea curry, which is incredibly popular. So I'd say probably those two.
So for people who don't know enough about being vegetarian or vegan and things like that, immediately when I think about it, I'm thinking I'm not going to be full, or I'm not going to have enough protein in my body to go to the gym or do things like that. What have you learned about things like that? Because of course you're a yoga teacher as well. So how do you get the energy in your body? Because you also mentioned, for example, that when you first became a vegetarian, you were doing lots of pasta, and now you've kind of cut out that as well. So what should we be eating then in your lifestyle, which can also help us lead an active life?
So, I mean, I have to say, for me, the type of sport that I do, aka yoga, I don't use any kind of protein powders. But if you're kind of, trying to build muscles, so if you're into weights and those sorts of things, maybe a vegan protein powder would work for you. But generally speaking, if you eat whole foods and you eat kind of an array of different colors, then really your protein should be completely covered. I mean, it's really a myth that you can't get enough protein through plant-based foods. And also the kind of recommended protein level keeps changing, so the government keeps changing it. And as I said before, if you eat things like whole grains, lentils, beans, you should be okay.
The government keeps changing it. What do you think it should be?
Oh gosh, I don't know. As I said, I think instinctively, if you eat a meal and it has lots of different components, so it has a whole grain in it, it has a legume in it, so a bean, a lentil, that kind of thing, and you feel full afterwards, then you should be okay. I think at the moment it's something like one gram of protein per kilo of weight, something like that. So, if that's where things are at the moment, then I'm fine. But I think after the Second World War, that kept changing. So it's slightly arbitrary, really.
Now, I was looking at your Twitter earlier, and those vegan pancakes look to die for, and I didn't have any yesterday, so I want to go and have some some pancakes. But what was so great is the photos on your Twitter page and on littleplantation.co.uk look amazing. Is this something you've always had a passion for, of taking photos of food?
No, because if you look back at my earliest blog posts, you'll see that my pictures weren't great at all. But it's something that's developed. So what I really wanted was to show off how sexy and how cool vegetarian food can be. And I thought, well, if I take enough pictures, no one's going to believe me. So I really worked on that. And so much so I did lots of courses. And now I teach food photography. In fact, I teach one-to-one classes, but also group classes. And we've got something coming up at the end of March. We've still got one spot left if anyone's interested.
Fantastic. Well, we'll give you time at the end of this to plug everything from websites to social media to everything like that. So hopefully some people can learn to take better pictures than I take when I do product reviews for Sportuccino. But let's not get into that. Where was I going next? Yoga. I wanted to talk about yoga. How long have you been doing yoga, and what benefits have you found to it for your life?
So I think I've been doing yoga now for about 10, 11 years. So yeah, a long time. I love it. I mean, I have to say, when I was a kid, I used to dance. So, I've always been into kind of body work, that kind of thing, and flexibility. So then when I got too old for dancing, I found yoga, and it was just a really easy, nice, beautiful transition. I love the fact that it's, holistic. So although I mentioned flexibility, it's not just about flexibility, it's also about strength. And in fact, it's kind of about maintaining that balance between the two.
How long do you think it takes for someone to become half good at yoga? Because I did one class and immediately the lady said to me, "You are not very flexible, Richard." I was like, I know, that's why I'm here.
Well, I would say, I would maybe rephrase that question, because good at yoga doesn't necessarily mean being flexible.
Okay.
Good at yoga means being able to still and calm the mind. And we use flexibility and strength to really, it sounds a little bit airy-fairy, but essentially you're trying to create channels so that energy can flow freely through the body, and so that you can still the mind. So you can do that even if you're not super flexible, if that makes sense. But normally I usually find that if people come consistently once to twice a week for 3 months, they'll start noticing a real tangible difference.
Okay. How often do you do yoga?
About 3 times a week. Before I had my son, I was hardcore, about 5 times, but since then I've gone down to 3 times a week.
5 times a week? You sound like a CrossFit competitor. They're the only ones who do 5 times a week. All right, Kimberly, it's been great to learn all of that, but let's learn a little bit more about you personally. Let's play 5 favourite things. I don't have the list in front of me, so I'm probably going to forget what the 5 are, but we'll make our way as we go. So okay. Are you ready, Kimberly?
Yes.
Wonderful. Let's go with favourite book.
The God of Small Things.
Favourite film.
Oh, those are hard questions.
That's what we do. We ask the hard questions.
The Sound of Music.
Pardon, Kimberly. Sorry, I interrupted you.
The Sound of Music.
The Sound of Music. Lovely.
Yeah.
Favourite city.
London. I love London.
Favourite song.
I like Ed Sheeran's new song, Piece of You. I really like that one.
Favourite food.
Sushi. Vegan.
Vegan sushi. Lovely. All right, let's ask you a little bit more about one of those answers. And I want to know why you love London so much.
I just love how vibrant it is. It feels like it's always on the pulse of the next big thing. The part of London where I live has got lots of green, open spaces. The people are cool, they're funky, they're edgy. It's just a great city. It's just a great city.
Fantastic. Well, it's been so good talking to you this morning, Kimberly. Just before you go, why don't you tell us how we can find out everything that you're up to, from your photography classes to your website to your Twitter and all your social media, please?
Yes. So the best platform to follow me on is Instagram, The Little Plantation. if you want to come to any of the food photography courses, just to spruce up your website or make your Instagram a little bit more attractive, just look at my events page. It's all written there. Or just drop me a line. And also, if you want to come to the Supper Club in April, there's still spots going for that too. So yeah, just email me.
Wonderful. We've had littleplantation.co.uk on the screen. I've just changed it, and now it's thelittleplantation.co.uk.
Yes.
So we'll make sure we put all the correct links there on the Facebook and on the YouTube page as well.
Thank you.
Been so good speaking to you, Kimberly, this morning. Thank you for being on Sportuccino.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks for having me.
Great to talk to Kimberly there on Sportuccino. What do you make of that? Do you want to live a vegetarian lifestyle? Do you want to live a vegan lifestyle? Could it be something that you could bring into your life? Really interesting there from Kimberly. So great to talk to her. Now, we do also put this show out as a podcast. It's on iTunes and it is on Stitcher. And it'd be really good if you could help support our show by giving us a rating and review. It's really easy, but if you don't know exactly how to do that, I've made it really easy for you to learn how. Just follow this simple guide. Good morning and welcome to Sportuccino. Yes, it'd be great if you could support our show by giving us a rating and review on iTunes. I, of course, also do another podcast called The Best in the World with Richard Parr. This week, the brand new episode, which has come out just now on Wednesday, is the interview with the rowing champion Kimberly Espinel, not Kimberly Espinel, we just spoke to Kimberly Espinel, oh my goodness, was the rowing champion Caroline Lind. It's a fantastic chat with Caroline. Go and check it out. The Best in the World, Rich Parr with Caroline Lind. Go back and listen to that. Also, if you go back and listen to last week's episode with Stephanie Rice, the three-time Olympic swimming champion, you'll also hear a lot of things about being vegan, similar to what we were discussing with Kimberly on Sportuccino this morning. Go and check all of those out. Now, we do have a different guest on the program every single morning. Tomorrow, we're going to be talking about the upcoming WWE pay-per-view Fastlane with Josh Lawless. But yesterday we were talking about the Sports Journalists Association Awards with Phil Barker, one of the judges and a veteran sports journalist who we've had on the program before. And one of the things he was talking about is how the world of live coverage in sport has developed over the years. And he's actually saying that if you go back to Kerry Packer's World Series of Cricket back many, many decades ago now, it was that event which actually changed how sports broadcasting is produced today. Let's have a quick reminder of what Phil had to say on Sportuccino on Tuesday.
Previously on Sportuccino.
Next month will be the 40th anniversary since Kerry Packer started World Series cricket. Same thing could apply. Before that, we didn't have stump microphones. We didn't have floodlights. We didn't have brilliant TV coverage from both ends. And that all came in with him, notionally a rebel circus, and yet some of the ideas they came up with absolutely revolutionised the way we now see sport and take it for granted.
Really good to talk to Phil yesterday. Go back and watch that full interview at sportuccino.com. So Juventus fans, you must be pretty pleased this morning. 3-1 winners over Napoli. Of course, Napoli took the lead through Callahan, but 2 Dybala penalties and a goal from Gonzalo Higuain in the second half give Juventus that 3-1 advantage after the first leg of the Coppa Italia semi-final. What did you make of the performance? Pepe Reina had to make quite a few saves for Napoli in the first half against Juve, even though they couldn't make the breakthrough. The second leg takes place on April the 5th. Juventus, of course, have been double champions for the last 2 seasons, looking to reach the final of the Coppa Italia for a 3rd season in a row. Could Max Allegri's team be in the final once again? And of course, tonight it's the Rome derby between Roma and Lazio. They, of course, will be the other team. One of them will be the other team in the final to play Juve or Napoli. What's your predictions on those games? What did you make of Juventus last night? Now, if you've enjoyed Sportuccino, if you enjoy watching Sportuccino every single weekday morning, you can help support our show by buying some merchandise. It's really, really easy. All you've got to do is go to sportuccino.com/merch. We've got lots there. Why don't I show you exactly some of the things we have on offer? Yeah, please go and help support Sportuccino by buying some merchandise. We'd really like that. So Andy Murray is back in the tennis world. He's back in action with a win over Malek Jaziri at the Dubai Championships. His first match in over 5 weeks after he's been suffering with injury. And Murray went on to win 6-4, 6-1 against Jaziri, who is ranked 51st in the world. What did you make of his return? Is he looking good? Could he make a real challenge at the French Open in a few months' time? Let me know your thoughts on that, Andy Murray's victory. All right, we have come towards the end of Sportuccino once again. Let's get a quick reminder of today's sports headlines. Juventus beat Napoli 3-1 in the first leg of their Coppa Italia semi-final. Newcastle are top of the championship after a 2-1 win at Brighton. Andy Murray wins in his first match after 6 weeks out with injury. And Ferrari were faster than Mercedes on the second day of F1 testing. So that's it for another Sportuccino. We'll be back on Thursday talking all things WWE, wrestling. We're looking at Fastlane, Goldberg versus Kevin Owens. That should be a thrilling match. We'll discuss that in full detail. We'll look ahead to the full card on Sportuccino tomorrow morning from 8 a.m. GMT. It's been so good talking to you this morning. Thanks to Kimberly Espinel for being on the program. I've been Richard Parr. Please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube and on iTunes. I hope you have a wonderful day. Good morning, everyone.